Alright guys, my name's Kyle. Today I'll be trying to teach someone at least how to drive a manual. I don't have a gas burner, all I have is a diesel 6-speed. So today I'll be showing y'all how to drive, again, a manual on this truck right here. I figured it'd be kind of a perfect time to teach for the simple fact I'm sitting up on a hill here. So, and of course everybody's biggest fear is driving a manual on a hill. So a little bit about the truck. It's just a 2014 Ram 3500, and it is a dually, so that makes things a little bit easier. Again, I'm on a hill here, and as y'all can see, there's stuff here at the back of the truck, so if I were to roll backwards, you know, I'm gonna tear up at least a tailpipe. But so yeah, with diesels, they are a little bit different. So diesels do not have spark plugs, they have glow plugs. So whenever you get into a diesel truck, you have to let your glow plugs warm up. I'll show you a little bit about that here in a second. For people who don't know much about manuals, I mean, they're pretty simple. If you look down here on the floor pedal, I have 3 pedals instead of 2. So naturally you have the gas pedal, the brake pedal, and then the clutch pedal. For your shifter, which is over here, some vehicles come with 4 speeds, some come with 5 speeds. This one right here is a 6-speed. The truck has been modified a little bit, so I mean, as y'all can see, I've done a lot of work under the hood and a lot of work outside the hood. But yeah, so I guess I'll go ahead and get started. So on these trucks right here, as you can see, I've got my key over here in your key fob. Put your key in, and for diesels, like I said, it's a little different than gas trucks. When you turn it on, you turn it over to run. And you can see before it went off, that little squiggly line right there with a fuel plug, that was your glow plugs. So naturally on a diesel, let your glow plugs warm up, close the door. And for diesel trucks, since I am on a hill, right now I do have my e-brake on. Naturally I'm going to push the brake down so I don't roll backwards. But you have the clutch down here. Hopefully I can get a little bit better angle. And I'm going to push in the clutch to start it. If you do not push in the clutch on these trucks, they will not start. So I've got my clutch pushed in all the way, my foot on the brake, and I'll go ahead and turn it on. Try and roll my windows up so maybe y'all can hear me a little better. So, like I said, on these clutches right now, my foot is still pushed in because the truck is in gear. If it was not in gear, so like right now, basically to take it out of gear and put her in neutral, like you would in a normal car, just move your shifter down and it will naturally go into neutral. You see, as I'm moving it back and forth, I'm not in a gear. So since I am not in a gear, I'll go ahead and let my foot off the clutch. Now, I'll also teach y'all a little trick since we're on the hill, because like I said, everybody's paranoid. That's fine. I was paranoid when I first started driving. I'll take my e-brake off. So now, if I let go of the brake, again, I'm going to roll backwards. So a neat little trick is you look at your RPMs right there. So now I'm going to put the truck in gear. So I push in my clutch down here, as you can see. I come over to the shifter, and for my shifter, I'm going to put her in first gear. So for this truck, it's a 6-speed, so I'll go all the way over to the left. All the way up will be first gear. Second gear is just right below it. So I just drop her down on into second. When I want to go to third, what I do, I'll push the gear up, I'll let my hand off of it, it'll naturally fall to this neutral position, and then I just push up. And that'll put me in third. Again, fourth, you just drop her on down. Fifth gear, I go back up, push her over to the right, up into fifth, and then down into sixth. Now for this demonstration, I'm not going to take it, I'll leave it in first gear the whole way. So naturally, I'm back in neutral, foot off clutch, engine doesn't die. So a neat little trick with all gas engines, I'll try and face it towards me hopefully, but a neat little trick with these, or a trick with all these engines, is when you put it in first gear, hold on to the brake and let the clutch out slowly, and you'll watch your RPMs dive. And when those RPMs kind of die and the engine wants to stall, you know that's where your clutch is engaging, and that it'll make sense here in a second. So hopefully you were able to actually see me when I'm saying that. So naturally, I got my clutch, I'll push it all the way in, come back to my shifter, put her in first gear, so go over and up. I'm in first right now, and you look at your RPMs right here and you'll see it kind of die. Now my foot is still on the brake and I'm slowly letting out of the clutch, as you can, well, you can't really see, but you come over here to your RPMs and slowly let out, and you'll watch it die. You see, you can kind of hear it bog down, and you see my RPMs kind of move. Again, it's kind of bogging down. So that's where my clutch is at. So let's say you're stopped on a hill at a red light. I'll slowly come out until I feel where that clutch is engaged. Okay? Which is about right there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let off my brake. And as I let off my brake, I'll just let out on the clutch at the same time, and you'll feel it kind of go. Okay, so now I'm kind of right there. I'm at that sweet spot. As you can see, I'm kind of creeping back and forth. I'm at that sweet spot in my clutch where it engages and doesn't engage. So naturally, at that sweet spot, I'll slowly let out of the clutch and the truck will take off. Okay, so just kind of a quick recap. I'll push in my clutch. As you can see, I am rolling backwards. So again, you know, stop your vehicle on the hill, figure out where that sweet spot is. I'm slowly letting out on my clutch. Right there's where it's at. So I'll push the clutch in just a hair. I'll let out of my brake, roll backwards, slowly let out on that sweet spot. And as you can see, the truck is moving. So I mean, that's really all there is to it. So again, I'm moving, I'm going back around to the front end of the driveway. And whenever I want to stop it, the way you want to stop these trucks in a manual, and it's the same for every car, if you want to come to a complete stop and not kill your engine, all you have to do is push in the clutch. So again, clutch is fully pushed in right now, and I'll push on the brake and I come to a stop. Now, to answer a real quick question is, you know, do you have to push in the clutch every time you want to hit the brakes? And the answer is no, you do not. So let's say I'm driving down the road, I just want to slow down a little bit, I'm not coming to a stop. If I don't need to shift gears, then I don't push in the clutch. I'll just tap on the brake a little bit, do a little bit of slowing up, and then keep going. If you're going to slow up bad enough that, you know, it'll bog your engine down and kind of kill your RPMs, then I will actually push in the clutch and change gears. So yeah, I mean, that's really all there is to it. I mean, there's nothing special. Like I said, right now, I put my truck in neutral. I am not pushing on the clutch right now. And yeah, I mean, that's all there is to it. And I hope that kind of helped out a little bit. If there's anybody in the class that wants to learn how to drive a truck or a manual, I mean, I'll show you. This truck's kind of my baby. I've put a lot of time and money into this truck, but I'll show you. Yeah, so that's all I got, and hopefully this is at least you learned something. I mean, I understand you can't really drive a manual just by looking at one video, but hopefully it kind of helps somebody with something. But if anybody has any questions or anything, or if you just see my truck in the parking lot there at Tech and you want to learn how to drive and I'm not there, put your name and number, you know, put it up here on the dash, and I'll shoot you a text and we can meet up sometime so I can at least teach somebody how to drive. Again, I mean, this truck is extremely easy to drive when it comes to being a manual. Like, I know it's a big truck. A lot of people think that, you know, it'll be difficult, but I promise this truck right here it's about as easy as it gets. So yeah, you know, just let me know.